It's a very great privilege for me to introduce Bari Weiss. Over many years of thinking about the world and writing a column, I've come to the conclusion that there are just two kinds of people. Number one, there are the people who have never heard of Bari Weiss, which is a significant, but I'm pleased to say, steadily diminishing percentage of the global population. And number two, there are people who love Bari Weiss. There are no in-betweens. You've either never heard of her, or you absolutely adore her. She's like Donald Trump in reverse. Why is this? There's something unique about her personality. You might say that Bari has what you'd call a presence. Where there is cold, she brings warmth. Where there is confusion, she brings sense. Where there is apathy, she brings passion and judgment. Where there is cravenness, she brings courage. Where there is sterility, she brings sexiness. Where there is dullness, she brings imagination. And where there is darkness, she always brings light. Light in the darkness. That is one metaphor for Bari, and that is, of course, a metaphor for what journalism is all about, which is why she should be with Eli, the honorees for Journalist of the Year. Now, for those of us who work in the field of opinion journalism, this has been a remarkable year and a difficult year. And it's been a year in which it's hard to know which sides to take anymore. The old guideposts have all fallen away. Above all, it's been a year that has tested and revealed character, who has integrity and who doesn't. In my view, in my judgment, nobody, except Eli, nobody passed that test better than Bari Weiss, which is why we're honoring her tonight. I now work at the New York Times, so I'm permitted to mix metaphors. Someone got that. But I want to say in public what I said to Bari privately during a very difficult moment in our respective careers a little earlier this year. What I said to her is that when God planted the seeds for her soul, he planted her as an oak. And as time goes by, you're going to notice that she grows above all the rest. Congratulations, Bari.
The U.S. Marine Corps has this unofficial motto that was coined by Jim Mattis: no better friend, no worse enemy. That sums up Bret Stephens to a T. Bret, having you in my corner since I met your dad so many years ago at Columbia has been one of the greatest strokes of luck, not just in my career, but in my life, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for the Algemeiner for this prize. I don't think anyone has been less deserving of an award since Barack Obama was given the Nobel in 2009. But as he said at the time, I'm deeply humbled, so ditto to that. And I only hope that I can prove myself worthy in the coming months and years. Thank you so much to David and to Hannah and the whole Algemeiner crew for arranging this lovely evening, and especially for giving so many comps to all of my friends. I'm also honored to be receiving this award alongside Eli Lake, who, in addition to being a writer who I read and admired since his salad days at the New York Sun, is a brilliant rapper and a wonderful friend. If you want a sense of how on the money Eli's analysis is, just look at the kind of people who attack him daily on Twitter. Eli has all of the right haters, and I'm really proud to be his friend. I never set out to be an opinion journalist. Although, in retrospect, the fact that it's a job that monetizes one's capacity for chutzpah and outrage makes it the perfect avocation for me. What I did set out to do was to defend Israel and the Jewish people when I was a college student on a campus that was hostile to both. It turned out that writing a newspaper column and starting a magazine was the best way to do that, and it was either that or a cappella. From the start, my Jewishness and my journalism have been inextricably intertwined. And I want to suggest to you that they are unusually in sync with one another. Words in journalism, like in Judaism, are capable of creating and shaping worlds. The Federalist Papers were newspaper columns. Herzl created his paper, The World, in 1897 in order to sell the Jews of Vienna on the Zionist idea. And I don't think it's pure chance that so many of the most influential modern Jews, from Heine and Herzl to Jabotinsky and Seth Lipsky, to Alana Newhouse and Jamie Kirchick, Leah Leibowitz, Jonathan Rosen, and Ben Cohen, have all been dogged newspaper women and men. Truth is the coin of the realm in journalism, and we Jews are a people driven by a love of truth. The seal of God is truth, says the Talmud, and in the Torah we are told to stay away from falsehood. Never have we had to be more scrupulous about that than in this truth-optional age. It is an age in which the leader of the free world has no regard for facts, in which our universities, swallowed up by postmodernism, are concerned only with narratives, in which the alt-right peddles lie after lie as fake news, while the far left insists that a person's claim to truth depends on her skin color or her gender or her class. Truth, not coincidentally like the Jews themselves, is being hammered by both sides. So what do? What is our role as editors and reporters and columnists in this precarious time? It's very faddish in our current era to talk about how the journalist's job is to speak truth to power. You hear it so often and then it goes unchallenged. But we don't believe in speaking truth to power, as Ruth Weiss and Martin Kramer and others far wiser than me have pointed out. We don't believe in speaking truth to the powerless either. That's because truth isn't relative. If you are seduced into thinking it is, you twist what you really want to say. You tell different audiences different things. You wind up like a politician. In other words, you wind up in the end like a liar. The Jewish commitment to actually telling the truth, irregardless of context, goes back to the very first Jew of all, to Abraham. It's what inspired him to smash the idols that his father worshipped, to leave the city where he was raised, and to become a nomad, arguing for and with God, but always standing radically against the prevailing orthodoxy of his time. You don't need to believe in the literal truth of the Abraham story to be struck by two very deep lessons that it offers that I think dovetail beautifully with the highest ideals of journalism today. One is the refusal to worship false idols, and two is the courage to be out of step with those around you. Today, the idols are more abstract. They come in the form of power, prestige, or keeping your mouth shut about your convictions in order to get ahead. It's very seductive to give in to these things, to get along and to be well-liked. And having been a sort of liberal at a conservative publication and now a sort of conservative at a liberal one, I know that pressure intimately. But it's incumbent on us to be like Abraham, not to bend toward the crowd, to give in to groupthink, even if it means feeling a little bit lonely. Because in the scheme of things, that loneliness is a privilege. I consider myself among the luckiest Jews in all of history. I get to work every day at the greatest newspaper in the world. I get paid to debate the most pressing matters and ideas of the day and to express my own. Our ancestors couldn't have dreamed of this reality, and the only question facing us is what will we do with this tremendous gift? I look to the Algemeiner as an example of what can be done. You tell the kinds of stories that so much of the media doesn't, and you do it without apology and with pride, and serve as a moral guide for the rest of us. Thank you for the work that you do, and thanks again for this amazingly generous award.